cards.
So aggressive.
Yeah. Okay. Well, does my voice sound okay?
Yep.
Okay. Let me open Google Docs on my phone. All right. Is everyone ready other than me?
Yeah.
Okay. Late night, day 57 of 1379. Last game, you guys went to Lowtown, the ghetto of the DOL, and you went to the prophesied sex shop, Dripping Candles, where you met Sachen Mozakin, who had a deal with one of the murdered Blackguard, Corporal Opala Strawn, to smuggle porn and dildos into Thunderscram via a teleportation circle behind Opala Strand's house. Sachen Mozakin admitted that the champion of Lolth, Nadvisa Shezanash, somehow knew of this teleportation circle and forced Sachen to let her use it to get to the surface. Sachen knew that whatever Nadvisa was going to do was not going to be good. However, she did not know about the terrorist attack and Wade and everything. According to her, Nadvisa also used the circle to come back to the DOL before likely going back to Menzo Baranzan where she lives, but only came back with two of her starting 11 doppelganger slaves/goons, and one of them appeared injured and drunk. You advised her to go to Thunderscram for her own safety, and she's planning on telling her smuggler employees to come with her because if Nadvisa ever finds out, she's going to be tortured in Lolth's personal hell forever. And Dwayne the Drow Wizard and Major Murdoch the Ambassador to Arlen are still with you. What do you do?
Yeah, so we were trying to go to where the champion was, right?
Yeah, that's Menzo Baranzan. It is a drow city under Lahuya.
Yeah, and we were supposed to get teleported there, right?
You've not made arrangements with anyone to teleport, though that is certainly something you can do.
Yeah, let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who do you call?
Ghostbusters.
Last I checked, you have a sending stone to King Henry and to your party members, Pale and Bastion.
Yeah, I think I'll just go straight to King Henry. Like, yo, I need to go to Lahuya so I can get to Menzo Baranzan. Because we were going to talk to what's his face, the jackass in the castle that nobody likes.
Oh, Big Jaegerid?
Yeah, that guy.
Okay. Yeah, actually, when you get on King Henry's sending stone, it is not King Henry who answers, but it is Ash Barlow instead. He says, "Hello. King Henry is indisposed at the moment," and he says indisposed in a kind of tight way. He says, "I've been scrying on the Colonel as much as I can, and he is still alive. Even escaped the dungeon once, but was shortly captured after, unfortunately. Olgeth has been the one scrying on you three and was about to offer before you called this one. You may want to skip coming back to the castle proper. And King Henry hasn't been speaking to you on purpose. He said he doesn't want to make you hurry or slip up if he makes you rush. Because maintaining composure is not going to be possible, I don't think. But as far as teleportation, we figured you'd be asking soon. Olgeth can take you from the DOL to a place called Mungor's Outpost. It's one of Victor's... What?
Yeah, I remember.
Yes, one of Victor's friends from Banishing Vecna, and they were able to lead you along. Yes, he intends to be to you in about 10 minutes. Are you going to be bringing the guy from Ireland with you, or is he coming here?
Oh, the Colonel or Major, whatever his name is, Major Murdoch?
Yes.
Oh, he's staying with us.
Okay. Well, Olgeth should be to you soon. Anything you want him to bring?
You boys need anything?
No.
No.
Nothing that I can think of right now.
Okay. Yeah, and then
Don't get in trouble or you blow up, right? So just don't do that.
I don't believe I'm going to be doing anything to get in trouble. I don't believe, anyway.
Alright, cool. See you then, Ash. Then Paul walks away.
Okay.
Like when you call a teacher mom.
Yeah. Oh, wait, what did you call him?
Dad, I mean Ash.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then he's gonna hang up.
All right. Cool. Teleportation.
Yeah. Fairly soon, since August has been scrying on you, he knows where you knows where you are. I'm not awake yet, I'm sorry. But
You said it right the first time.
Oh, okay, good. And he's going to teleport into the street next to you, which causes kind of a commotion. And because he's a very big man, and even more since he's a half giant, he would definitely be considered a lower species. But he arrives as one of the most powerful wizards on the planet, and he says, "Are you ready?"
I'm ready.
Okay. And he motions to Dwenin, the drow wizard, and he's like, is he coming or staying here?
Are you going with us, dude? You're supposed to be my tour guide, so... And, translator.
I would be in Menzelbrands killed on sight. Though I do have something to give you, a few things. And he rifles around in his pockets. And keeps rifling around in his pockets. And keeps rifling.
Why do you have so many rifles in your pockets? I didn't even think one guy would fit.
No, he finds it. And he says, my sister wanted me to give this to you. His sister's the captain of the city guard around here. And he gives you a lesser ring of invisibility, lets you cast the invisibility spell once a day, as well as a tiger's eye tarantula, which is a homebrew figurine of wondrous power. It can become a giant spider for up to 12 hours and be ridden as a mount, but once it's been used, it can't be used for another 2 days. And then Weapon of Webbing, which is also homebrew. A +1 dagger that when thrown casts web on the spot where it lands, and then 3 potions of speed, which he notes, these are for you to leave quickly, and he gives you a wink. And I'll copy and paste those into the chat also. So these are ambassador gifts. What?
I said thank you, I'm still prepping my burger.
Yeah. I don't know who wants what, but we can. Figured that out.
Can you run me through them again?
Yeah, Lesser Ring of Invisibility lets you cast the invisibility spell once a day. Tiger's Eye Tarantula, which is a figurine of wondrous power, essentially. Weapon of Webbing, it's a dagger that when thrown can cast web on the spot where it lands. And then 3 potions of speed.
Take a potion of speed. And then you guys do whatever. I already got all my various bits.
Okay.
Plus, I only exist until the end of this adventure, in which case I'll become a background character. Oh, sorry, I rolled really high perception.
Damn. Only exist until the end of this adventure. It's rough.
I have a finite lifespan for which my entire existence depends solely on this not being done.
Wow.
Hee hee.
Alright, so the invisibility and the webbing thing. And the figurine of wondrous power.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Well, shall we get going?
Yarp.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, August invites you all to hold hands, and the light swirls around you, and you are suddenly somewhere very snowy. You are on the coast for the First time in at least Carolina's life, I'm pretty sure, well, and TK's life, the beam is somewhere else in the sky. It is no longer where it usually is, to your southeast. It is now to your southwest. Congratulations. The laser in the sky is somewhere else. And so, yeah. And then it is cold, but you are on a coastline, it seems, outside of what looks like a small village. Not quite ramshackle, but it feels very much like a village in Skyrim. You can see from here a big main lodge and all these little cabins with obviously fires in the hearth. And there are people fishing out by like piers and stuff. You see some boats. It is mostly from a distance, or you might learn eventually, half-orcs and humans and full-blood orcs are the main population of this town. But it is the main trading hub between here, or between Arlen and Dunan, or really the only kind of neutral place in the middle of them.
Crazy.
Well, we're definitely not in Stonestone anymore.
Nope.
Thank you, Mr. August.
No problem. And do you, Darian, remember the suggested route? I don't remember who suggested it to you, or if I told you earlier.
I'm trying to find my notes.
Okay. It's I. Let's see who can find it faster. You get August, in this 10 minutes that it took you to, or took him to get ready to teleport, will hand you a note. It is from Victor Jaegerin, the last person you might expect to be helpful ever. But it says, there's this guy I know who has contacts in the city. I recommend you go to Mungor's Outpost, and then Glotgrim, then Blingden Stone, then to Menzo Branson. Mungor can get you to Glotgrim, the dwarves can get you to Blingden Stone, and then my guy can get you from Blingden Stone to Menzo Branson. A while back, I sent some of my guys to Glotgrim so they could train my guys to fight in the Underdark when they were clearing monsters in the highway to Vixville and Nygamesh a few times. But the dwarves were too much of snowflakes to deal with the top men, and so they asked him to come up and train my guys. That's mostly what he does, is hunt Underdark monsters and sell the parts to alchemists to make a living. His name is Haunter, or at least that's what he introduces himself as, but he lives outside of Blingden Stone, a deep gnome city, near Benza Baranzan, and sometimes they, or even the drow, hire him to kill monsters that get too close to the cities. But he's probably the only person I would trust to lead anyone to Menzo Baranzan and actually get you there alive. He'll refuse to go actually into the city with you, or at least he has every time before. You'll know him when you get to Blingden Stone. He'll be the tall one. He actually scarily looks like Henry. I've had the idea to use him as a stand-in if Henry was ever too sick to be in public, but he's rough around the edges, is how I would describe him. Me in my younger years, pretty much Henry exactly if he was my son instead of my son-in-law.
His name is Haunter?
Haunter, like a ghost, you're being haunted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's outside of Glendenstone or Menzo Brandon?
He lives outside of Blingden Stone, but he's the one who can get you to Menzo Branson.
Sure.
And August would tell you that you could, since you're a champion, people are going to want to do, shake your hand and stuff, but you could really just avoid them. And because if you guys want to fast track this journey until you get to Blingden Stone, you certainly can. But we could also do it day by day as we have going through the Underdark before. So, like, Glotgrim is where the champion of Moradin lives and rules as king. And then, but they're good people according to Thunderscrimians.
Yeah, we can montage it.
Okay. Is everybody else cool with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, you go to Mungor's Outpost. If you were to talk to anyone and tell them of there's been a terrorist attack at Thunderstrom, they would certainly help you along the way. Maybe just so we can avoid missing the interaction. Like maybe Mongor's not here right now, but whoever his second in command is would dispatch you several orc, human, and half-orc like soldiers to go across the wastes, the frozen winterscape into the gates of Glantgrim. And because, would you believe it or not, the entire Sword Coast is actually here in Lahuya. It is the western side of the continent, but it's all been frozen for thousands of years. So you could go to frozen and abandoned Baldur's Gate if you wanted to. But there's no one there, because this is an alternate universe and everything. But you would get
Like
to...
real Baldur's Gate.
Huh?
So kind of like real Baldur's Gate.
Oh, being
They're
an
all dead right now.
Well, if you play the Dirge ending, certainly.
Yeah.
Dritz is never going to die because R.A. Salvatore needs more money for writing all the novels. I think he's on like 50 now. I'm keeping track of how many days it's been. Everybody roll me a D100 to see how fast you can get to Glantgrim.
Real. Rigetio. 93. Never mind. We're so back.
Nice.
We're so back.
79. Oh, 79.
Nice.
Ian, don't fuck this up.
I'm working on it, man.
Oh, man.
Oh, I gotta fucking buy game.
Oh, God!
Oh, we're all gonna die, man.
Oh,
Game
brother.
over.
Oh, bro!
I fucked it up.
It's okay. It's
yeah,
bad.
for you.
It's alright.
We're never gonna forgive you, but it's okay.
That's fine. That takes.
Yeah, you guys go through the day and night in the shitty, horrible winterscape, but one of you is a champion of a god, one of you is a robot, and one of you's hot-blooded by nature, so it's fine. It takes you 2 days to get to Glantgrim, so we are assuming you slept at least once, because the orcs and humans would need to. It would be day 50... No, it'd be day 60 when you got to the gates of Glantgrim. And then upon telling the dwarves that there's been a terrorist attack and Colonel A. Blackbell's been kidnapped, there's a drow plot on the surface, etc., etc. And for some reason, the ambassador to Arlen is here. You would quickly be granted access and would go through the beautiful dwarf kingdom with the Art Deco aesthetic and everything, and maybe briefly shake hands with the champion of Moradin, who would again send you his best men as the Mongor's outpost guys bid you adieu. But they would lead you to Blingdenstone. You go through the Underdark again, and everybody roll me more D100s to see how fast you can go.
83.
95.
Rolling. 54. I'll take it.
Nice.
Pale's head blows up.
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
Cole's head blows up.
No. The dwarves are hardier folk and don't have to sleep, and they know all the shortcuts. So it only takes you like a day and a half to get to Blingdenstone. And now I have to open a page in a book because I have even a campaign guide for this one. So that's day 61 and a half.
Should have loved half days.
Half days? Like at work?
Yeah.
No. But is there anything you guys would have talked about on these days of your journey?
Carolina's just focused on finding her rock-loving hubby.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know if
Maybe
that
just
surprises anyone.
Only a little bit. And Cole's probably just like ranting about Pale.
Okay.
Because Cole looks at Pale the way Pale looked at Steven.
Aww.
God, he's such an idiot. How'd he get here?
And Carolina's like, I miss Pale too.
I never said I miss him. I say I revere
You
him.
didn't
and
have
fear
to.
him. Dang it.
I mean, you only learned about Pale like a month and a half ago. First time
Yeah,
any
go-
Herculean ever fucking heard of you.
Yeah, go look at how I responded to Steven early on.
True.
Just gotta
Sure.
girl boss it.
Yeah. At some point, Ash would probably message the group through the sending stone again, and he gives you some good news. It's
Hello there.
hello there. So, they've stopped torturing Colonel Blackwell, or at least they haven't in the last day and a half. I don't know if they've just decided he needed the rest, but that's good news. Other than that, I just wanted to say that there's a bit of a lull in the panic over here. It's I was finally able to get through to King Henry and let me help. I've said all that to say that should you marry Wade, my dear, you will have one hell of a stepson. I doubt either of them would ever admit it in those terms, but the way Henry speaks of him, Wade is the greatest father in all the world, and I just hope I can babysit until you get back.
You're doing a good job.
Well, for a death cultist talking to the king of the anti-magic, anti-religion place, I'm trying.
Yeah, you're doing great. And thanks for scrying on Wade for me. It's good to know that he's still fighting and they stopped. So
Yeah, briefly, which we'll take what we can get.
stay strong, my rock. That wasn't to you.
Yeah. It's all right. Good hunting, madam. You're making great time.
Did you see who was in the room?
I have not been able to. There's only two people who ever come in there, and I can't ever hear them. They must be wearing some type of anti-scrying charms, or they've been placed on the room or something. I can barely even see the room he's in most of the time, but they must not have warded whatever part of the dungeon they're in, and I have occasionally heard other screaming, but he seems to be in his own section, and there's from what I've heard, it's only two people.
Okay. Well,
Or from when he's telling them to fuck themselves, he seems to only address someone who's male and someone who's female, based on the insults, I gather.
I mean, but a man can be a bitch.
Well, this is true, yes.
And a girl can be an asshole. I mean, those are universal. A man can be a cunt, too. So,
And motherfucker, and yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, when I find them, I'll have them point them out.
Oh,
And
yes.
they too shall be tortured.
Oh, handily. I'll help.
If we
I
don't
don't know
just
if they'll
kill them
make
all.
it back. I don't know if they'll make it back that far. But
That
if they,
fair, yeah.
yeah, if they do, I'll keep you in mind.
And you've got to do it outside city limits, because torture's illegal here, based on the last king being the champion of Home Eternal. But that's while disappointing, as long as it's outside the city.
Maybe you can ask August to bring you to me.
Perhaps. I'm just daydreaming, at any rate.
It would be an amazing sight to see. So, yeah, we'll keep that in mind, too.
Well, I am an expert.
Mm-hmm. All right, Pale's dad. I'll talk to you later.
I
Sorry, Dad.
My name's Cole.
won't say what he calls me, and he hangs up.
What? My God, we have to add this to the new Herculean Bible.
You heard him wank over the phone.
Still holding on strong. We got to keep going.
Indeed you do. Uh-huh. But you arrive at Blingstone, and the dwarves would be leaving you here, asking you if you need anything, that sort of stuff. And the city is kind of a wreck because in the last century or so, they were actually kicked out of the doors are telling you this on the way. They were actually kicked out by the drow who took over and started to mine or whatever, but then the whole thing was taken over by undead, and they've finally cleared most of it out. So the Sverniblin, I don't know how to say the Underdark word for deep gnomes. I've heard it said. I have no idea though.
Smurfs.
Smurfs, yes. The Smurfs with dark gray skin. The evil Smurfs. But they're slowly taking back sections that have been purposefully collapsed so they can kill the undead inside in stages. So they're a hardy folk down here. And they, having been in exile, make regular dealings with the surface world. So at the front gates, there is a lot of security. But even before you get to the gates, does everybody want to make me a perception check?
Yep.
Sure did.
That is a 16.
Okay.
23.
Yeah. Between the three of you, you are easily able to see. You look up several hundred feet near the roof of this massive cavern leading up to the front vault door of Blingdenstone, and it's what looks like sort of a scrap wood hobbit hole, a shoddy wooden door built over the mouth of the cave. There is an absurd amount of stairs and ladders to get to this hobbit hole, and what looks like several zip lines going in every direction. And on there's the main road in from all the secret paths the dwarves knew about to get here. And you guys killed a spare minotaur or whatever on your way, but it'd be between 10 dwarves and you guys, it's nothing to sneeze at. But there is a small sign. Does anybody read Undercommon?
Nope. Wait. I think I do actually.
Nope. I
Nope,
sure
I
don't.
speak giant.
Speak infernal and
I
abyssal.
also speak that.
Celestial, Common, Draconic, Sylvan, and Thieves' Camp.
So was that a yes on Undercommon?
No.
TK?
No.
No.
Okay. You see a sign in Undercommon that has a
What
lot of...
about Major Murdoch?
Oh yeah, I forgot he's here.
Is he? I thought you
Major
said he was going to
Murdoch
get killed
is
on
here.
sight.
Yeah, Major Murdoch is here, your translator and helpful guide. And he's not an adventurer. So he's been having a really hard time through this whole journey. And occasionally he'll mutter something about none of his people know that he's here, but he's not that concerned. Like, he knows he hasn't been kidnapped. He knows he doesn't have a choice between coming with you or not. But being that you're Thunderscremian emissaries, he doesn't think that you'll get him killed. And so he is happy to translate. It says the sign, and he reads it. It says, Haunter's Roost, and there's an arrow pointing up to the terrible hobbit hole. It says, he's grumpy, he's secretly kind, he protects our town from monsters. If you threaten him, he will kill you. His house is trapped and will kill you. Do not bother him. You have been warned. He cannot read Undercommon. Tell him this sign says, Welcome to Blingdenstone.
Said, do not bother him. So
Yeah.
he's exactly who we're looking for. Well, from where we're at, I look for traps.
From where you're at, make a perception check.
14.
Yeah, from here you don't see any, though it is a long trek up in these scrap wood ladders and stairs.
I wouldn't take the stairs anyway.
It's true.
So I'll just fly up and search for traps on the way.
Okay, what about your four besties?
Does he only speak? He doesn't read Undercommon, so I'm imagining he speaks a language that I would speak.
You can hope so.
I could hope so. I mean, I could take Major Murdoch with me to translate. But yeah, I grab him by the scruff of his collar. I don't know any better way to carry you, so just let me know if it hurts.
Okay. He would only protest a little, but that's okay. What are the other two of you doing as Carolina takes off?
Being ready to deal with whenever she gets hurt.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, can I have landed on Carolina? Like, can I grapple onto Carolina as well?
But to say you could. What's your strength, Carolina?
I carried both of them. My strength is a 25.
Yeah, you could fly everybody up there. I'm pretty sure that's not how like wind resistance works, but you're a magical creature at this point, so you could fly all 5 of you up there. It would look kind of ridiculous, but you could do it.
Well, let's do it. I just don't know where y'all gonna step when we get up there because.
I mean, I've been able to wrap myself like around Carolina, basically.
Yeah. So 2 boys in each hand, and then a robot as a backpack.
Yep.
Okay.
Our front pack.
Yeah, you fly up there. Everybody make a perception check as you approach from the air.
22.
14.
That'd be a 15.
Okay, Carolina, you see right before you're about to touch land that there is razor thin wire in like a basket in several places on this. You're able to dodge it and land on the porch though.
Okay, be careful where you step, and I point right at it. Like, you see that?
Yeah, it's
And
other
then
than... Oh, sorry.
And then I'll point to all the baskets. Like, yeah, booby traps everywhere, and not the good kind.
They're good kinds.
I mean, have you ever heard of thirst traps?
No. It's like in the desert, whatever. Yeah, watch out on the way.
Yeah. Carolina just looks at her chest. All right. And then I will take a safe route to the door
Okay,
and knock her.
make another perception check.
22.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to dodge, barely seeing some more wires under the floorboards. You're able to avoid landmines. You see the boards are thinner, and so when you drop through them, as most people would, they would explode. But you're able to see which boards have been tampered with, and you are at the door now.
I will take my echo out and let my echo knock.
Okay. Yeah, you hear a knock, and you don't hear an answer.
Excuse me, Mr. Hunter. Come in peace.
Make a persuasion check.
Persuasion.
Is it possible for us to give advantage?
You would have to assist in some way. What do you do in order to give advantage?
TK's not exactly a very persuasive looking person.
Mm-hmm.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. From behind this shoddy-looking wooden door, with the shoddy-looking floorboards of the porch that are actually hiding landmines. Shoddy. You hear what sounds like a meaty, beefy shotgun being cocked from behind the door. Who the fuck is it?
My name's Carolina. Came to ask for your help.
What do you want?
I need to get to Menzo Baranzin, and then I'll go into the whole, like, trying to save somebody.
Since you got a natural 20, the door unlocks and opens. Or before it, as you heard it unlock, you also heard a caconk in several places all around you, and you notice that something has shifted, and you're fairly certain that the landmines are covered.
Yeah.
But as the door opens, you see... You could swear that it's King Henry's fucking clone looking at you. it looks a lot like him. 6'4", broad-shouldered. This guy probably weighs like 70 to 80 more pounds than Henry does because he's ripped as fuck, and not in the like bodybuilder way, but in the this guy's athletic. He does a lot of work.
Yeah, these muscles aren't for show.
Yeah, but he's wearing what looks like jeans, boots, and a shotgun, and the only differences are that he doesn't have King Henry's scars, obviously doesn't have the electric threading due to him having mechanical parts now, and his eyes are more blood orange instead of yellow. But if King Henry wasn't back at Thunderscrum, you might think this is King Henry.
I'll pause for a second for the, like he really does look like him. Yeah, we're trying to save somebody. And this is, like I said, I'm Carolina. This is TK and Cole and Major Murdoch. I was told by Victor Yagrin to ask you for assistance.
You see him kind of grind his teeth, and you hear him mutter, "That fucking asshole."
I agree.
But he beckons you inside to a front room. There is another much sturdier door between this room and, you can assume, the rest of his house. But there are chairs and a table in here, and he pulls the equivalent of a hoodie on and motions for you all to take a seat.
I check for traps.
Yeah, make a perception check.
26.
Yeah, you can't see all the traps in this room because there's like 24, but you can see pinholes in the wall where stereotypically in a random dungeon there'd be like poisoned arrows flying through. You see more like possibly a hint of explosives in between these shoddy floorboards. You see one of the parts of the ceiling is different from the others. You don't know what happens when that happens. But and even I would say the chairs and tables in here look kind of fucking scuffed. Maybe scorched a little.
Yeah. I look at Major Murdoch. Don't step there.
He jumps, a little nervous, and Haunter like squints at him, but then puts the shotgun down as he sits on top of a desk. Now, don't get me wrong. It's right fucking next to him.
That's fine.
So they're in Menzo Baranzan.
Yeah. So we need to get there because I don't know how familiar you are with Thunder's Grim and their whole setup, but King Henry's right-hand man has been kidnapped, and I am on a mission to retrieve him.
Kidnapped by who?
Yeah, that's the fun part.
Mm-hmm. You don't know?
We have
Don't know exactly,
ideas,
but we have a very good idea.
theories, some would say.
Does Darian not know, or does Carolina not know?
It's I don't know the name.
Oh. It's, your lead right now is, Nadvisa Shezanash, champion of Lolth.
Yeah, like I knew it was the champion, but I didn't know the name. Not Visage.
Yeah. Do you tell Haunter this though?
I'm gonna. Yeah, what the hell? I'll tell him.
Okay. Yeah, when you do tell him that our friend has been kidnapped by Nadvisa Shezanash, champion of Lolth, he kind of just sits there for a second, staring at the floor. If your plan is to break into the Bane Raid dungeon, then I'm not gonna take you because you're gonna fucking die. Or worse. There is much worse, folks.
Nah.
Well, yeah. Well, she's a champion. So am I.
Champion of who?
Vivian.
I haven't heard of him.
Well, it's a she, but that's okay. It's like we're mainly a pretty secretive bunch, so if you haven't heard of them, that's really okay. That's fine. But point is, this person means a lot to the King of Thunderscrim, means a lot to the Champion of Vivian, and means a lot to Thunderscrim as a whole. So if I have to go in there, fight, and die to try to save this person, that's what I'm going to do. But I also the champion of the God of Resurrection, so I'm not worried about that.
You want to know what city 2 champions of Elmater, a champion of Tempos, Pelor, and Soon were killed in? But centuries apart, but still. All killed by the, at the time, champion of Lolth.
The one we're trying to go to?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh.
Yeah. If I have to fight, I'll fight. If I can get in there and get out, I'll get in there and get out. I'm only doing what's necessary.
And from my short experience, Caroline is real good at the old in and out.
I imagine slavery on the surface is a nightmare. But you cannot imagine the hell that is being a slave to a drow. That's something that you don't want and that I won't have on my fucking conscience. Ask yourself if your friend would want you to die for them and then go home, Light Dweller.
Light, that's a new one.
He already knows that we're coming.
That sucks that you're gonna have to disappoint him.
Well,
why are
you
you
just
so
point me
worried?
in the direction of where to go. Because I would like to do this with you, but I'm going with or without it.
Make a persuasion check.
16.
Says I'm saving your life, you know.
Well, he's also my future husband, so what life
If he
is there
says-
after that?
If he says yes, you know, you can ask, but
Oh, he's already saying yes.
fair
He
enough.
said yes. He said yes a lot the other day.
Okay.
Let me just let you know. Nadvasa has been the champion for like, I don't know, 200 years. And she can take you to a place where your Vivian cannot find you.
Well, that just means she's old and senile. I'll take it.
I meant like, you know, there's a lot of space in like Lolth's celestial plane. There's a lot of space in her abyssal place she hangs out too.
Well, maybe she'll just listen to reason.
Yeah, I
Tell me-
don't think so, buddy.
Tell me, how many people have just made it up to your door?
He sits back. He's like, exactly 2.
Yeah,
Well,
now there's
3.
4 of us.
3, counting you people.
No, there's 4 of us.
Well, 3
Okay.
cases, all right.
Yeah. So, not many people have tried to come up here, and probably the ones that did hit every single one of your booby traps on the way up. You didn't hear a single noise until I knocked on the door. We're a lot more capable than you might think that we are.
He scratches his forehead. Another long minute. And then kind of blows out air from his mouth quickly. If you're that dead set on becoming a Drow Queen slave or dying, the least I can do is make sure you get there faster. And he sighs and gets off the desk.
Great, thank you. And, if it does come to, any of those thoughts that you have, she's going to have to kill me because I've already been a slave once and I'm not going to be a slave again. So even if they do try to make me one, I will escape.
I hope you're right about that. All right. He says he'll be ready in an hour.
Leave in an hour? Okay.
Unless you need more time.
I am anxious to get my future back, so and I just toss him 3 gold.
He picks it up and looks at it, and then puts it in a box. Or rather, he says, "Stay out here," and opens the inner door that's much more secure, and then goes inside. You assume that he's doing whatever he does to get ready.
So, you're gonna help?
He yells through the wall, "Yeah, I'm putting armor on, ain't I?"
I don't know what you're doing over there. I would never ask you if you have any, like, siblings or cousins.
He eventually, once he's dressed and he's still, like, sharpening weapons or whatever, or would talk to you on the road, either way. But he says, "No."
Are you sure?
Kind of look like, someone.
If I do have him, I've never met him.
Yes, you have a doppelganger.
Yeah, you need to meet him.
You know a lot of half-drow walking around?
Look at me and ask if I know weird mixed groups.
Tieflings aren't that special.
Oh, right. I'll tell you later if we get out of this.
How long is this walk?
Should be a day and a half.
Go ahead and tell it, Cole.
Wait, I have to type something cursed in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Carolina's just got a smile on her face. He's about to tell him about his 2 dads.
I hate that, Matt.
I'm also absolutely not reading that. That's one of the very few that I will refuse. That's just a fun one for us.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so anyway, what they do is, but after that, it's every 100 times, and then out comes, and it burn. Not just for me, because I'm, but at least it's not cold. Anyway, that's why I tend to know some different weird, odd groups.
This guy's the type of guy. This guy's the type of guy to always have a 1,000-yard stare, but it's like a 2,000-yard stare. Just that, I think, listening to you tell that story, that now I've lived through a lot of torture, but that was something else. I gotta say,
Thanks.
that you should teach classes. Wow.
We have diagrams. I actually have a diorama if you want. It's interactive. But we have to go back to my house for that.
Keep that far away from me.
We've heard that story so many times on this trip.
Yeah.
Why would you tell people is the thing.
The real question is...
If he doesn't tell him, I will.
Yep.
Okay.
Plus, the part with the balloon's kind of necessary. Otherwise, you lack context.
Okay.
It's a pretty good icebreaker, and we see what kind of people are around us as well.
I mean, you can't help the circumstances of your birth, but that's, wow.
Out here quoting Mewtwo.
Yep. Yeah, but, do you guys talk about anything else on your journey?
Nope. I'm completely silent after that.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I asked him, what god does he serve? Worship.
Make a persuasion check.
That's just a 10.
He kind of grumbles and he says, "Used to be Lolth." Not by choice, I might add.
Well, you can't help the circumstances you were born.
He almost laughs.
But you can make changes, and so, yeah, well...
Why'd you leave?
Do what?
Why'd you leave?
I don't know if it was left so much as escaped.
Mm-hmm.
Born in slavery, was a half-drow, so they trusted me and liked me more than the other ones. No weird love story there. Mosh looks at you pale, a little bit, or not pale, cold a little bit. Says, she was probably kidnapped, mothered, So I lived in the house that my father was in. Never actually met the guy, didn't know which one he was. Since I was trustworthy, they put me into a fighting job, scouts, monster hunting, finding other stuff in the Underdark, I guess. Got too good at it, made some people jealous, got sold to somebody else who had worse security, and eventually escaped.
Interesting.
I wanted to make their money's worth before the actual full-bloods killed me.
Nice. Sound a little bit like my story.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, born in slavery, except we were freed from slavery. I didn't have to escape. But I did need to seek retribution on the slavers. So in a way, I guess I escaped. That's cool.
So slave freeing is like your whole thing, then?
It is. Yeah, so I don't like slavery. I try to end it wherever I can, freeing the people or getting rid of the slavers, whichever one comes first, or both. Then also, how did you meet Vic?
There are these dwarves from higher up, and he motions to the ceiling. And he says, they're apparently mercenaries from far away, and I don't know, got along, and they wanted me to teach them some shit. So it was, this mushroom is poisonous. This mushroom will literally explode if you sneeze on it. Don't fuck with a basilisk unless you can make it dark everywhere. That kind of shit.
Noted. Darkness or basilisk fighting.
Yeah, because if a basilisk looks at you, it's a big 6-legged lizard. You'll be turned into stone, which you could. It's not. I haven't had it happen to me, but it seems terrible.
Yeah. I've seen some of those stone statues.
And he turns to TK and he's like, so did you get turned into metal, or is that a spell effect I need to worry about?
PK's about to go into his whole spiel, and then he's very distinctly reminded that he's apparently not supposed to tell anyone in the Underdark about him. This guy's in the Underdark. Not supposed to tell him about him. Just looks and he goes, yes.
Respect.
That just got me. Yeah. That's fucking horrifying. Remind me to never ever go wherever that happened to you.
Yes.
Alright. And he looks at Major Murdoch and he's like, fuck's your deal, I guess, since we're all swapping our backgrounds. And Major Murdoch would tentatively tell him that he's an ambassador. It seems that you guys want to make an insight check?
Okay. Things like being a normal person and reading people.
Mm-hmm.
23.
That's an 18. Wow.
Oh, wow.
23.
Okay. Yeah, so you are able to tell that as Major Murdoch tells Haunter about like places he's been and Arlen and everything, that the Haunter doesn't know where fucking any of that is. He probably doesn't even know where Thunderscram is, other than the top men that Vic sent to go train with him are from there. And with a 23, you probably even realize that Major Murdoch has to explain who the Raven Queen is.
Spooky.
Huh. So him not hearing of Vivian, he's just literally just trapped in the dark.
Yeah.
It's like this guy's
Or
been living
under it.
under a rock or something.
A lot of them. A whole shitload of
great.
rocks.
I'm paying for that one. I just swallowed wrong, and it's in my lungs now.
Yep.
Oh, God.
We've all been there.
Oh, I'm dying. It's been a good run.
Simply
your-
choose not to die.
Make your
Okay,
friend do the
wait.
Heimlich on you.
I cast lay on hands and do the
Yeah.
Heimlich.
Oh, wow, lay on hands. It fixed fluid in my lungs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. You can have a little
Oh.
fluid as a treat.
A little fluid.
Oh.
Wow. Wow. All right. So,
Oh, go
he
ahead.
really doesn't know any of these gods. He hasn't told us who he's aligned with, though. Who was your god again? Since it's not Loth?
Assuming this is a different day, make another persuasion check.
27.
He grimaces, maybe realizing that you've asked this before, or, that it's come up in conversation. He says, I've only met a priest of them like once, and I had to kill them, unfortunately. But he looks at all the darkness and the billions of tons of rock above his head. The god of the sun sounds pretty cool.
If you consider a God who forgives all and accepts the darkness within you and allows you to use it towards good, to end all pain in the world.
That is, the sun sounds cool. I've heard a lot of
Oh.
people expect it to make a noise, but it doesn't make a noise. And you can feel it like touching you. That's weird.
Have you heard about
Really?
Merkul?
No.
You feel the sun's heat. It's warm. Yeah, that's kind of nice. And then I just think to myself, like, yeah, sun god, that's Pelor, right?
Uh-huh.
It's like, yeah. And you had to kill the guy who was the priest of him?
Yeah, the fucking people he makes big air quotes, working for at the time, like kidnapped him or something.
And you had to kill him to stop the torture or something?
Or yeah, they were just done with him, so
Awkward.
yeah.
Probably for the best.
The poor bastard.
How do you feel about soul stealing?
Lolth does it all the time, sure does suck.
So you don't like it?
I mean, I'd much rather die and that just be it than go into whatever pit of swirling blackness and screams that I've seen other people get sucked into, yeah.
That's respectable.
Yeah. You seem like a decent person. I can like you. And you don't seem to know too much about all the gods. You know, the ones that you've encountered, and that's also respectable. Hey, you do live in the Underdark, so I don't expect too much news from Topside to get down here other than what has to. But if
And
you
I
don't,
don't like people.
and you don't like people, I can definitely respect that. I've had to kill a lot of people. Because some people are evil and they just need to go. Like the sun god, who likes to steal unborn souls.
Wait, what?
Yes, you heard that correctly.
It's a whole thing.
He pauses for a long time as you guys are walking. Well, I mean, does he hurt them?
Yes, he uses their souls as weapons, and let's just say you knew somebody who was pregnant and they had a stillborn, probably because Pelor took his soul.
It's a really, really long pause. And he just says quietly, well, that's disappointing.
It is.
Quite.
Yeah, and he already doesn't talk much, but he especially is kind of quiet after that.
Yes. We don't judge you for this. Only Pelor. You're not doing it, and you don't even like it. So, but there are other gods to choose from. being that you left the one that you were born into and then just chose one that you heard of. So, but there are plenty more, and they're on the right side of things.
Yeah, I hoped the God of Light was going to be cool.
You'd hope so. And maybe one day he will be, but for now he's not.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on in this world, a lot of bad things going on in this world, and a lot of them are being caused by what he's doing.
Hmm.
Some of us are trying to change that. Just as you're assisting us on this mission, we would like to have you on our side as well.
I think just generally, you seem like you're good at traps, so be helpful.
That would be awesome. And hey, we could take you to see the sun.
He was kind of just nodding along to you guys saying that the outside world is in trouble, and like seemingly distracted by, oh man, what little I thought I did know is different. But as soon as you mentioned going to the surface, he's like, no, thanks though.
I mean, the sun is nice. The guy in charge of it is a dick. That's the only thing.
Yeah, just I like Blingden Stone. It's quiet.
Fair enough. No pressure. Just, we'll just get to where we're going. We'll do what we got to do. Hopefully, we'll see you on the way back. Things go well. We might be leaving in a hurry, though, also. So,
yeah. I'm intending on hanging around for a few days to get you guys back, I guess. But I will say only a couple of days.
that's fine. Hopefully, we'll be in and out of there, like we said.
Yeah.
But you don't like slavery?
He almost laughs. No.
And you don't like soul stealing?
No. It's kind of the same as slavery, just in the afterlife.
Yeah.
And inescapable.
Would you actively fight against it?
He kind of grimaces and he's like, not on the surface.
Not on the surface, but down here, if you've seen it, would you do something?
I'd do what I could. Though I will say there's usually not much you can do.
Maybe not. But hey, sounds like Vivian might be for you.
Maybe.
We'll figure it out.
Just think about it. Maybe you could send a prayer to her at one point. She's a god of righteous rebellion and rebirth.
That does sound nice. But anyway,
Yep.
Yeah, so here. He hands you, each of you, 3 potions, and he says, the dwarves call this snake bitch. It'll help you shrug off their paralyzing potions. Not stop them all the way, but it'll help. You'll know it's working because you're going to feel like your soul's on fire, but it's worth it. And this gives you advantage on con saves for 24 hours. And he warns you, if you fight somebody with a whip with snake heads, it'll be a priestess, and they're the only ones allowed to hold them. But, glance one, drink it, then cut the snake heads off before you do literally anything else. And if she drops the whip, don't get near it, because it'll still bite you.
Okay.
The snake head is still alive?
Yeah.
Huh.
Imagine 8 to 9 snakes all tied together at the end, and all they want to do is bite the shit out of you until the only thing you can feel is pain. And he gives you a small smile.
We see one, drink one.
Yeah.
Then kill it.
Yeah. Or really, if you kill the priestess, just don't try to loot her whip. Because it won't kill you, but it's going to hurt, and you'll be paralyzed for like 12 hours. And And then if someone finds you, of course, they're going to torture the shit out of you, etc., etc. Also, when you get into town, since I can tell you that if it's not Vasa, she's going to be in the Baneray dungeon. That's where she's been living for the last couple of years. Last I heard, anyway. But if there is anyone to help you, I was going to make you roll persuasion checks for this, but you've been very nice to this guy, so he does want to help you. He says, there's this fucking... He's, like, really old. And he's such a fucking cuck about it, too. His name is Jarlaxle. He runs a mercenary company. He's, like, the only important male drow in the world. And like, that'd be one thing. That would be cool, but he's so annoying. Like, maybe I'd even look up to him, but he's just so annoying. But if you look for, and they may be a little hard to find, but there's a mercenary company called Brigand Darth, and for the coin, they'll help you. He was actually the only reason nobody's looked for me back in Menzo Branson is because he helped me fake my death.
Interesting.
Jarlaxle.
And if it helps, I already owe him a lot of favors that he ensures that I know I owe him. But if it helps you, say I owe him another one.
Fair enough.
Anybody know who Jarlaxle is?
Nope.
He's from the Dritz novels. He's a very important character in the Forgotten Realms. Whoa!
I can't read.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a mistake, though. I don't.
Oh, well.
I came here to lead, not to read.
I don't even know what it's from.
Simpsons.
I've heard you say it many times.
The Simpsons.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's The Simpsons making fun of Arnold Schwarzenegger being a governor.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. He's like, what is this? I came here to lead, not to read.
But is there anything else you guys talk about with Haunter or Major Murdoch or
No, not from my
each
end.
other?
I mean, my recruitment effort is over, and I'm pretty sure that's the first time I've actively tried to recruit somebody to be a Vivianite. But I mean, I guess for the rest of the journey, I would slip a little knowledge about the upcoming war nonchalantly.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Trying to force someone to follow your god with that. Terrible.
Yeah, he would occasionally also ask you about Merkul. If somebody mentions Gon, he would ask you about that. Major Murdoch might mention the Raven Queen or more about the surface world, the wider places he's been. And Haunter would educate you about Menzo Branson, their politics and the layout of the city, which I will tell you as it becomes relevant, because there's a lot. And, but you would, assuming there's nothing else, arrive at the city. It is massive. There are approximately 20,000 drow here and about 1 million slaves. That includes kobolds and everything. There are also various other races, even like full demons, and halvesies of each, I guess. Half tiefling, half drow are actually very rare, but they're incredibly powerful. And the city is made entirely of carved out stalactites. I'd say the entire cavern that it's in is probably half the size of Thunderscrum. So it is a several mile diameter city. in the middle of it, while there's other smaller stalactites that go up to the ceiling or the height of skyscrapers, there's also one huge column in the middle that Haunter would tell you is called Narbonell. And those of you with dark vision would see that it is hot at the bottom, because every day the Archwizard of the city heats it until it is entirely glowing, and then as it fades down, that's what they use for a clock, is how bright is Narbonell right now. Haunter would bring you to the Isle of Roth. It's where they keep all the livestock for the city. Any motions that you're going to have to get across a small lake, and there's not really a border patrol, but if somebody stops you, avoid them, first of all. Don't talk to anybody if you can help it. He's paranoid, and he has made it clear that he's not going to go in the city with you. But he says, if you're unable to get into the Baneray dungeon, or if you're unable to get into the dungeon of whatever plan you have, I guess talk to Jarlaxle, and he'd tell you how to get to his base of operations and maybe an outpost that he might know about. And you can just tell them literally who you are. They're really good with taking in lost fucking randos. That's their entire deal. But so you'd have to go to the Isle of Roth, and then the same kind of ghetto called the I don't know how to pronounce this. Hang on. It is called the Braeyrn. Braeyrn? Is that how we want to agree that's pronounced?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the Stench Streets. That's the sort of shanty town. But yeah, it's going to tell you to go around the Isle of Roth, around Donnygarten, which is where that's the whole farming area. But he says he'll be waiting around here for when you make your escape. And I would say it here that Major Murdoch is he's finally going to confess that he's 50 years old and not a fighter. He's trying not to be a coward. But he's I will do whatever... That's Ash's voice. I will do whatever you tell me, but I don't know how much hope I'm going to be. Though I am the only person who speaks Undercommon. Though when you actually get into that, maybe I can help you around the city. But I will not be any help during you fighting the champion of Loth.
We know.
You can translate our battle cries.
I will fuck you up. Translate it. Or just tell me how to say it.
He said,
He tells you every single swear word in Undercommon.
That's all we need to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yes, you can go with us through the city just in case somebody decides to talk to us. And then you can make your way back to Haunter.
Yeah. He still looks incredibly nervous, but nods along. Okay, we're doing this. Fucking YOLO, baby.
About how far would that be away from where Haunter is?
It would be a trek. It would be a trek, and depending on how friendly people are, which they're not, is Major Murdoch is a diplomat, so maybe that would be okay, especially because they're on the same continent that Arlen's on. Maybe he'd be alright if somebody stopped him. His best bet is putting on a hooded cloak and just trying to avoid being noticed. But if somebody stops him, he will not be able to fight his way out at all. He would have to do the same thing that kind of happened back in the DOL, is get arrested and hope for the best.
Well, with that attitude, obviously.
Well, the
But
man
fair
has
enough.
maybe 50 hit points, you know?
Oh,
I'd give him veteran stats out of the monster manual.
fair enough. Fair enough. I respect it. So,
All
Yeah.
right. I was trying to see if I could get if I had anything to help him out, or if it wasn't too far, I could have my Echo go along with him till he gets back to safety.
Or, I'm looking at the map, and I can send you a picture of this map because Haunter would have told you. House Bainray is actually very close. That's funny that I hadn't read that before, but he would only, if you went around in the city, as long as you stayed away from the noble houses and Tearbresh, which is like their military academy, he might be okay. At least in the Bazaar, the Claw Rifts, and the Braern, he'd be all right. Which Haunter tells you in order to get to like one of Jarlaxle's safe houses, it would be in, or at least the one meeting place he knows of last time he was here, which is a couple years ago. The Braern is actually not far from the like rural area, and then Bainray is not far from the rural area either. So if he does not have far to go, but should anything happen, he won't have much luck.
Okay. So if it's close enough that I could do my little my Echo walk, I guess I'll call it. I would put a robe on my Echo and have it escort him through the city back to Haunter.
Okay. So like once you don't need him anymore and you're somewhere safe, you can send him off?
Yeah, and I'll escort him, and that way, if any trouble happens, I'll just teleport to where he's at.
Okay. Is it, the limit's like 1,000 feet, isn't it, for teleporting?
Yeah.
Okay. It would be further than that. How far can your Echo go without you?
Well, without me, no. I mean, I would actually have to like sit down and
Yeah. But
put
how
my
far?
consciousness into it. Without me, it's only 30 feet.
So if you're focusing on it, sitting crisscross applesauce, how far can you go?
1,000.
Okay. It would be like 2 miles.
Okay. Maybe I could go high enough to see him.
Yeah. He says that he's willing to. He's been in the Underdark before, never alone, but he actually kind of pulls into himself and he says, if I can be part of saving Colonel Blackwell, Wade Howard Blackwell, the Knife of the North, if I can be part of saving the Bloody Knife of the North from the Champion of Loath, I suppose I could walk through a town by myself. Keeping in mind it's a terrible, horrible town, but he's putting on a brave face for country and queen, you know? He feels like the Raven Queen owes Wade at least that.
You know what? I'm gonna send my familiar with him.
Oh, the monkey, correct. I forgot about that. I keep forgetting about that.
I do too.
What's their name? Bubbles?
Yep.
Okay. I'm sorry we've not built up Bubbles very much.
I keep forgetting about Bubbles too. And I just
also have a stone spider.
I'm not gonna send that with him.
Okay, yeah. Probably for the best.
Yeah. I won't even tell him the flying monkey's with him. I'm just gonna have the flying monkey just fly over and supervise him.
Oh my god.
Like go from rooftop to rooftop.
Yeah, once you guys split up.
Yeah.
Okay.
because I don't want it to draw attention to him, because a flying monkey will definitely draw attention to him.
Yeah. Maybe he can tuck it into his trench coat, you know? A monkey and a British man in a trench coat. Sounds like a setup to a bad joke.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Well, we will work on getting into Menzo Branson next time. My computer is still fucked up, believe it or not. I quit trying after a while, but...
Yeah, all the electronics have been on the fritz lately.
yeah. I wonder why.
Yeah. Because Elon's in office.
Oh, yeah, of course. It's renaming it Gulf of America fucked up all the servers or something. Yeah.
That shit's hilarious. My daughter looked at the GPS yesterday. She's like, it really says the Gulf of America.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's Mexico's trying to sue Google. I'm like, wow. It's just the dumbest shit ever. All right, man. Saying all right, man, to them. I guess all right, man, to you guys as well. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, it was a good fight. Good night.
Yeah. Well, we didn't fight anything this time. I apologize.
Unfortunately,
I'm sorry.
That's fine. We had a lot of ground to cover.
Must yet again. Yeah, next session. Oh boy, TK's gonna have so much fun.
I mean, it's just like in solo leveling. You know, it's like you got two filler episodes with setup, and then the last episode, the third episode, is all fight.
Yeah. That kind of do be how it is.
Do.
Say goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Hey, it's your GM, Bailey Ford. I would like to thank our regular players, Darian, Matt, and Ian, Hip for our cover art, and Tabletop Audio for our background music. You can find us on Twitter at @Illithids, and thank you especially for listening.